Sound design, well, honestly I live and breathe sound design because I worked in it in sound all my life, and I've seen how sound has evolved through the years in productions in Singapore. And yeah, I mean, when you look at sound at a factual level, I mean sound design at a factual level, I look more of it in terms of sound accompanying film, and trying to get the best out of it. When I say film, I mean like film for videos, for commercials, for film as in feature films, anything to do with the visual media. It can even be for online mobile stuff and all that. So the main thing it's to accompany, for me, it's to accompany visuals and to tell that story. Good and bad sound design. Bad sound design is sound design that's overproduced or underproduced. It's when it gets cheesy, when it gets over the top, or even when it overtakes the visuals, making the visuals look bigger than it actually is, or even smaller than it actually is. So it's all about balance and how the sound designer collaborates with the director, and where he wants to take it together. Planning and pre-production. When I say planning, I mean pre-production. I mean, a lot of new filmmakers forget about the sound element until they finish shooting, and then when they're about to edit, and then they realize, oh look, we forgot about the sound. So a lot of times it's all about, I feel a lot of new filmmakers, the main mistake is that they don't plan for their sound, they don't plan their shoot location. Some of them might be terribly noisy, because by the time you come back into edit and you realize that all your takes have been taken, all of them are noisy and you can't actually hear what the actors are saying. If you planned your shoots plan your sound for your shoot before that, at least you would have clean takes, and then you would spend less money on post-production also at the end of the day. Another aspect also that I think I get from a lot of filmmakers, even experienced ones also, they come in and they say, Rennie, you gotta help me save my pictures. The actors didn't do a good job, or the whole story is a bit dodgy and stuff like that. Cannot be saved. I can say it cannot be saved. It's very difficult to push sound to save an actor's or actress's bad performance. You can ADR them and all that, but if there's a bad performance, then it's bad. Even bad dialogue or on-location recording, when it's bad, it's really hard unless you rebuild everything from scratch in the studio itself. Only if it's purposeful. If you want to record the locations, now let's just say there's no dialogue at all. It's always good to give the sound designer options, and because he might want to use some of it also. Where is it useful to record? Okay, let's just say this one is very specific. If you want to record wala means like background sounds. Different countries have different sounds. If you go, let's say let's say compare markets, for instance. A Singapore market will sound different from a market in Malaysia, will sound different from a market in Hong Kong, will sound different from a market in India, even in China. You hear people with different dialects speaking, it's got different sounds. So in such a case, yes, you do record the on-location, and I'm pretty sure if it's well recorded, it'll be used in the actual production. So that's one instance where you do want to use the on-location sound, the lock sound, and hopefully it is, you should record them properly, so that the sound editor would have as much options as possible. Dialogue cleaning, number one, always. It always starts with the dialogue. The dialogue stem is the brick of it all. You base your whole film on the dialogue. If the dialogue is not well recorded, if it's noisy, no amount of cleaning can save it. You've got to make sure that is solid first before you can, you can put all your other elements around it, meaning like your atmos, your Foley effects, your sound design elements, your music even. Like if you're shooting a horror film and let's just say you want the scene to be very quiet. There's dialogue in there, and there's this bunch of traffic noise in the background. You hear a few beeps and stuff like that. It's very hard to create that sort of quiet, thrilling and quiet, chilling effect. Because your background is already so noisy. So if everything is clean from the start, you can basically the whole sound stage is open. You can do anything you want with it. Whereas if you're working with a compromised sound stage, meaning it's already so much noise in the track, how are you going to add more? You're just going to add more noise to the whole thing.